experiment is the determination of paracetamol in tablet using a new technique called different spectrophotometry.
هتسمعوه؟
The experiment will be
Yes,
divided into 2 parts. The first is the standard solution preparation. We will need 20 milligram percent paracetamol, 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide, and 0.1 normal sulfuric acid. First, using a clean pipette, we rinse it with the solution with the 20 milligram percent paracetamol to clean it. And then we pipette 5 milliliters of the 20 milligram percent paracetamol into 200 milliliter volumetric flasks.
راح الصوت أو هي سكتت ما بعرف.
وراحت الصورة. اوكي يا رجل.
لا بعد في صورة.
We fill the first volumetric flask with the 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide. When we reach near the line mark, we use a dropper to reach the line mark so we will not exceed it. We then stopper the volumetric flask and shake it and by inverting to homogenize the solution. For the second volumetric flask, we will be using the 0.1 normal sulfuric acid as the solvent, and we will fill it till the line mark. And when we reach the line mark, we will invert it as well to homogenize the new solution. And by that, the acidic and the basic standard solutions are ready. To the second part of the experiment, it will be the test solution preparation. We will be determining paracetamol in Panadol tablets. Each tablet is labeled to contain 500 milligrams of paracetamol. We will weigh out 5 Panadol tablets and then transfer them into a mortar to grind them. From the finely grinded Panadol tablets, we will weigh out a powder equivalent to 60 milligrams paracetamol and weigh them in a beaker. To the beaker, we will add around 20 milliliters ethanol and shake them till the powder is dissolved. We then transfer the contents of the beaker into the 100 milliliter volumetric flask and quantitatively wash the beaker for any traces of paracetamol using distilled water. And then we complete the line mark using distilled water, and we close it and invert it to homogenize the solution. As we can see, we still have solid particles in the solution. These are the excipients, the undissolved excipients. So we here have to add a filtration step to remove the undissolved solids. For the filtration, we need a filter paper, a funnel, and a conical flask. We fold the filter paper and insert it into the funnel. We then add the solution into it. The first portion of the filtrate is used for washing of the conical flask and is then discarded. We then continue the filtration process. When the filtration is over, we will use the filtrate to prepare two solutions, acidic and basic solution. So similarly as we done for the standard solution, we first wash the pipette using the filtrate and then pipette 5 milliliters of the filtrate into each volumetric flask, each 100 milliliter volumetric flask. The first volumetric flask will be filled with the 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide.
بعدكم معي ولا لستوا؟
Yes, doctor.
Our test solution in acidic and basic medium already حضرناهم in sodium in the standard solution in acidic and basic medium. هلا we measure them and we do the
And the
calculations.
second volumetric flask with the 0.1 normal sulfuric acid. By that, we have the standard solutions and the sample solutions are ready to be measured. For the measurement, we will be using a pair of quartz cuvette. We first clean the cuvette using distilled water, and then we clean it using the solvent to be or the solution to be filled with it. And then fill the cuvette with the solution and wipe it carefully. On the spectrophotometer, we first go to basic testing and we set the wavelength at 255 nanometer. For the basic solution measurements, we first insert the blank, which is the 0.1 normal sodium hydroxide, and then we insert the standard and the sample, each into its position. We then click on measure blank to auto zero on the 0.1 normal sodium